Welcome, the
Welcome
return,
back.
the return of the
Welcome back.
greatest sports show in world history. It's me, Donovan Morris, Robert Watson III, coming back at you. We're on different sides of the world right now, but we still get it done. We always find a way. We're not going to waste too much more time. I'm going to start out with our first topic of the day: Le Sperm and LeBron James come back to their grassroots. They come back home. Um, So, do you have any thoughts about them coming back to Cleveland? We had the moment with Bronny and LeBron playing for like 2 minutes, and against the Timberwolves, and Bronny was getting, he got his welcome to the league moment, but he's gonna play again tonight against the Cavs. What do you think?
I mean, I don't see it going any different, really. Let's see. He might please probably get in like 3 minutes. They're gonna probably start going at him right away. I mean, he really just he needs that G League experience for real.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think D'Lo is like questionable tonight though, so that would be like crazy if they really had to give him like serious minutes.
yeah. If that's the case, I don't even think he'll get serious minutes because I think they'll just raise everybody else's minutes, honestly.
Yeah,
Um,
true. Get some
but
LeBron at the one.
yeah, maybe a little bit more Dalton Connect and then Austin Reeves. But yeah, I think the Lakers, they got JJ Redick. Um, he's a lot better than Darvin Ham. I will say that. He's not afraid
Darvin
to,
scam.
yeah, he's not afraid to get in people's ear. He's not afraid to, tell people what they need to do to get better. He's just he's one of those basketball like psychopaths. So, he's always looking to find something new and innovative. Um, I think that's the biggest difference with him and Darvin Ham. There was Darvin Ham in the playoffs against the Grizzlies, the timeout. He said, "Go hard on them dudes,
Go hard on them
salute."
dudes.
And
Salute.
yeah, that was a classic moment.
I mean, I
Yeah,
think both these teams are kind of in similar situations. Like they both just pretty much I mean the Lakers got a couple additions, but so the Cavs got a couple guys, but it's really the same team, but with new coaches. And I mean they're both playing a lot, just they look a lot more fluid. The Cavs are playing faster and more aggressive. The Lakers have finally switched from relying on 39-year-old LeBron to carry the load. They got some Don Connect looks like a real player. They're actually using Austin Reeves and D'Lo this year instead of not starting them like they were doing for half the year last year. So
yeah,
I, I think it'll be a good game tonight. I think the Cavs win though. I do.
yeah. I
I
do
think the
too.
Cavs are going to be. I think the Cavs are serious this year, or at least in the regular season with this new like offense heavy approach. I think they'll rack up some wins.
Yeah, yeah. I like Kenny Atkinson. Um, I think he's just gonna bring confidence to Darius Garland. He had a lot of stuff going on last season, so it's important for him to just get back to what he was doing before. Um, yeah, Mobley, he's been looking a lot more aggressive. Um, he's
Some of
had
them
a
should have
couple,
step back three, bro.
yeah, like he's had a couple big games. So Jared Allen, he's just gonna do Jared Allen thing, 16 and 10. So yeah, I like the Cavs. It's really just about the playoffs. I always thought we would do well in the regular season. Um, but when we play in the playoffs, it's a little bit different style. You can't be as reliant on Donovan Mitchell. So if we could just have some variety in the playoffs and not be so Donovan Mitchell reliant, then I think that'll bode well for us. Um, yeah. So speaking of predictions, what were your preseason predictions since we had a year hiatus? And have any of those changed since the season has just started?
um, as far as like the teams, I guess my finals prediction is still the same. I feel like it's pretty basic. Everyone's thinking like I was thinking Boston, OKC.
Yeah.
Nothing's
Yeah, I think
nothing's
most people have
changed
that.
in since then. I mean, they're looking good. I thought the Lakers weren't really going to be good, but I'm seeing them trending towards like being like a team that doesn't have to play in a playing game. this year. Like at least be in the
Yeah,
top six.
yeah.
Philly, whatever you thought. I mean, that's just that's like that's some whole other
That's Philly.
thing. A team I think another team that's getting slept on or that I actually would have had high stock in is the Magic because I think Boncaro's really got to make a push. Like he could if he I think like if I had to say something right now, he'd be my sleeper for like all NBA first or second team. Like he's a problem, and
Yeah,
that team's just really unique with how they attack people.
yeah,
But I mean, if Ja could actually stay on the court, that's my MVP pick, Mister Up That Pole. But at least he's got to be consistent with it, and he's just always struggled with injuries. So I know he didn't play the other night, but it was looking good to
yeah,
start the year.
yeah. Jai's very interesting. Um, we see what happened with Westbrook, and you just see how much, these athletic point guards and their decline is just so rapid. So I'm hoping he can just learn how to adapt his game a little bit as his career um progresses. But yeah, my prediction. So yeah, I had OKC at Boston. I had OKC winning. But I will say part of the reason I had that was because Jason Tatum, his jumper was broken last year.
He
He's
fixed some.
he's fixed the hitch a little bit. We'll see if it lasts the whole season, but that could change my pick just because Boston they just cheese threes all day. So yeah, it's pretty hard to beat that. But yeah, I like OKC. Shea, he's one of the most consistent players in the league. Um, and it's not like going against Luca where you can just pick on him every play on defense. Like he led the league in steals last year. So um, yeah, I think it's a completely different animal. And he can also he plays more off ball than Luca. So I think it'll just present a lot more challenges. And the rest of their team, I think, is just they have a well balanced team with Chet, and they have more rebounding with Hartenstein and Caruso. So yeah, I
It
think
will be
that
interesting to
would be,
see.
and it'll be interesting to see if Porzingis even plays because he hasn't. I don't think he's played this whole year yet. So
Yeah, I think he's been out. I think Hardenstein's out too, but I kind of want to see
yeah,
what he looks like when he gets back.
yeah, he had like a hand or
We
finger injury or something. So
I do want to talk
um,
about some of those like some of these early moves we've seen, notably the whole like Knicks Timberwolves shuffle, and then I
yeah,
mean I would say we could talk about Philly, but we haven't seen anything pretty much
yeah. Did
other
you
than
see
just the
Tyrese
Tyrese
Maxey
Maxey
just?
show. Yeah, but I mean, I kind of when it first happened, I feel like everyone was super on board with the Knicks. I I liked the Bridges move, but I was a little iffy about the cat move and then kind of swapping him out for Hardenstein. You had to get rid of Randall, but I feel like it's kind of like messed with the team's identity. Like I feel like the Knicks aren't the Knicks that what made them good and competitive last year. Like I feel like it's a little bit of a hollower, empty version. And I actually think Julius Randle is a solid fit on the Timberwolves.
I actually agree. When it first happened, I was like the Timberwolves won because I mean, Julius Randle and Cat. I mean, they're both playoff droppers, but I mean, Cat provides a little bit more floor spacing, which you could say the Timberwolves need. And Julius Randle is more of like a brute force inside presence. So, I think the difference was just getting DiVincenzo. I mean, he hasn't even been playing well this year, but he's just the threat of him on the court. I think that's enough to make the Timberwolves better. I don't know if they'll even make the conference finals like they did last year. Um, but the Knicks, I mean, I think both teams ended up winning, but because they were both trying to get rid of like Julius Randle and then get rid of Cat, so they had to get something. But um, yeah, Cat, he just there's just times where he'll just settle too much. Like, bro, you're 7 feet tall. Like if you don't get to the rim, bro. But yeah, I mean the Knicks, they're starting five, like talent wise, is I mean top five in the league. So
It'll
um
take time to mesh too.
Yeah, like that. And then
And
Mikal
for
Bridges, it seems like he just changed
yeah,
his jumper mid-game against the Celtics, and he just if he just keeps not doing whatever, I don't even know what he was
whatever it
doing.
was to start, I don't know what was
Yeah, I don't
going
know.
on.
His trainer needs to be arrested and thrown next to Diddy.
Do
But
you know who he trains with? Does anyone know? Who told
they
him to
need
do
to be
that?
arrested. They like, he was a 40% shooter on the Suns, 3-point shooter on the Suns. I don't know.
Yeah, that was
I,
bad.
I don't know who was saying that. But yeah, Philly. Um, I don't think I'll ever be a believer in Philly. You know, they have Paul George and Joel Embiid. I mean, that's enough. That's enough excuses right there. You know,
Just yeah, man.
Paul
Ah,
George will have a fly, land on his shoe pregame, and they'll say that's why he went 3 for 15. So,
but there's
um,
also going to be that point in the year where they're both just playing like they always both have that like there's going to be the Embiid run in the regular
yeah,
season. There's going
yep,
to be the playoff P pre-playoff P run in the regular season, and everyone's going to be like Philly looks legit,
yeah.
and we're going to be
It's the
like yeah,
same.
no, they're hooping, but it's just like you know what's coming with them probably first
Yeah,
round
it's
exit
like
depending on who they match up with, but the East is
yeah,
kind of weak though.
yeah. Honestly, because the Bucks, Dame and Giannis, they aren't clicking.
Doc
Like I
Rivers
don't, and
and
Darvin
Darvin
Ham.
Ham trying to coach that up is just that's bad looks, very
Yeah,
bad looks.
hey, I can get
Pacers look
five.
like they regressed too, man.
Yeah, I had the Pacers
It's
as a
really
playing
like
team in my predictions.
it's looking
So
like it. Like, well, it's looking like they might not even do that if we go off the first few games, but
yeah,
it ain't been looking the greatest.
I honestly don't
Another
think the West is that strong either.
no, because Denver's hasn't been looking good at all.
Yeah, because Jamal Murray, he looks a step slow. I don't know if he's still injured. Michael Porter Jr. I mean, he's just Michael Porter. No, never swing the rock. So you know what you're getting
They
from
don't have
him.
enough shooting out there
They don't.
anymore.
They don't
They
have enough
used to be
scoring or
like
anything.
a kill you from three. Yeah, like I was actually talking to someone about this today. Like when Jokic is going for 40, but he's getting like 5 assists, that's not winning ball for the Nuggets. That's the
Yeah,
Nuggets when they used to be getting knocked out first, second round every year.
yeah,
He's trying to carry, he's shooting samba shuffle threes every other possession. You're
yeah,
gonna have a game where he goes for 50 and you win, but you want him to be like 20, 28 points, 12 assists, 13 rebounds. Like that's the method, and they're not really built for that right now.
yeah. And he even said it. He was like, "We don't have enough shooting. The only above average shooters we have are MPJ and Jamal," which is true. And they were hating on him because
And
they're
they're
like,
both
"He's
inefficient.
yeah." And Jamal Murray, he's known for being an off the dribble guy, but he hasn't been able to get to those same spots. Even in the Olympics, like he wasn't great in the Olympics. Like Shea and RJ Barrett were doing and Lou Dort were doing most of the heavy lifting. So I don't know if he might still be injured or it might just be something lingering. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with them. I think the only way that the West will be strong is if the teams that have the older superstars are actually good. Like if you look at the Warriors, they have potential to be good. The Suns, they look better on defense and they look
They're
more
looking
fluid
better
on
too.
offense. And I mean the Lakers, obviously. So I think the teams with the older stars in the West could make the West stronger than what I think it is right now.
It could really be a flip this year. If I was thinking 8 teams for the West, I'd say OKC, Phoenix, LA, Dallas, Minnesota, Memphis. Last few teams is a toss up. There's some nasty ball out there.
Yeah.
I think if James Harden gets to play Harden ball all year, he'll get the Clippers to the play-in.
Yeah.
Him and Zubac in the pick and roll, and then that last spot is just like toss up between like the Kings and the Nuggets. Like it's just whatever you want to do with that.
Yeah. Originally, I had the Rockets making it. I don't know if I don't know. There's just so many like mediocre teams that it's kind of a toss up. I mean the Spurs, Wemby hasn't looked great on offense this year. Um, He's been taking that Porzingis method. So
That's what we don't want to see from him.
yeah, but yeah, that was
He's
he started taking
I
five
was
step back threes a game. I'm like, this is Carl
I
Anthony
was
Towns.
I was watching that game versus Dallas, and like
Oh my
anytime he
gosh.
even tried to go to the block, like Gafford and Lively just
Lively,
had him
yeah.
in prison,
Yeah.
in prison. And Lively so versatile, he could actually step out and like stay with him a little, and then it's just like
Yeah.
he's shooting the faders, which is uncontestable. But he hasn't been a consistent enough shooter to where it's like you could just shoot the fader every time and score. He's just got to find a way to be more effective inside and going towards the basket.
Yeah. Yeah. There's one thing like with Chris Paul, he's gonna he's gonna hold the ball a lot because he's just trying to do his pick and roll stuff. Um, I think they need a little bit more movement so people could just get out of position more instead of just trying to like manipulate people. Because that's where he can get a lot of his easy baskets is just people being out of position. And once you're out of position on him, you literally have no chance because you just throw it at the rim. So
Those
it'll
lineups
be
they run too.
yeah,
It's some nasty lineups. I think one of them was it was like Paul Castle, Sohan, Shempenny, and Wemby.
yeah,
Shempenny wasn't even playing that bad, but like it's just like that's not what I would have
yeah. It's
imagined.
respect.
Like
Yeah,
they've been doing a poor job of. I thought they would have made more strides in reconstructing that roster, but maybe they got their eye on like Cooper Flag or something this year, and then they're just going to wait it out and then
yeah.
just keep stacking.
We'll have to see. We just can't let OKC get the number one pick or number top three pick because then the league will be finished. I mean, there'll be no point even playing the games.
I mean, do they have
So
someone's pick this year?
they have the Clippers pick.
The Clippers will do okay. They won't. Hopefully, we're
They
one
better hope
James Harden
Harden stays
away.
healthy. They better
We're
hope
one
Harden stays
Harden
healthy.
injury away from the Thunder getting like Ace
If
Bailey or something.
yeah, like come on. Yeah, we'll be
We're
finished.
one injury away.
We'll be finished. But yeah. Speaking of the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, man, that is just you just hate to see it. Like, did you see they got sued or they're trying to sue?
I heard about that. I didn't read into it too much. Was it like mispractice or something?
Yeah, yeah,
Like what was it? Okay.
malpractice. Yeah, because
Yeah.
so apparently his injury, he was supposed to be out over 700 days,
Wow.
and that did not happen. So
They've been saying he's had this for the last like 4 years, that regenerative knee stuff. They were
yeah,
saying
he's had it.
700 days rest minimum.
Yeah, he's had it since Toronto, I think.
Dang, so he was like Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I don't know how he's gonna recover. I mean, I could see retirement just because I mean I don't know what the point is. He's done everything he had to do in the league. I mean, I hate
He
that I'm
might just
talking
pack it
like
up.
he's in past tense, yeah, but um,
His
you
contract,
know,
what's his contract?
I
Because I
think
know
he
it's
had this
probably
like
guaranteed. I
three
could look
years,
it up.
180 something, I forgot. But
I mean, he's got the Jordan deal too. So I mean, money. He's probably not even spending money like that either. It's
yeah, he
probably
got
good.
New Balance, so
Yeah,
he'll be all right. But yeah,
forty
you
nine
just hate to
million
see it.
this year, 50 million the next 2 years.
Yeah, that's enough for a whole
Don't
lifetime. So
don't know how much of that's guaranteed, but
oh, it's
probably
all
a lot.
guaranteed.
Oh yeah, 100, all of it, fully guaranteed. Oh, there it is. Yeah, he could just
Yeah,
walk away now, or just be rehabbing if he needs 700 days off for the next two
yeah,
years on his
yeah.
Deshaun Watson flow.
Don't even get me started. We're not even gonna
That's
get into
for
that.
save it for another episode. We'll
Yeah,
save
yeah,
that
we
for
we yeah
another.
we gotta save that because hey, I don't want steam coming out of my ears. So yeah. Prayers for Kawhi. If you decide to come back, please come back healthy. If you don't, it'll be okay. You've made a gajillion dollars in the NBA, so you'll be
One of
all
the
right.
most interesting cases ever. How that all
Yeah,
really just worked out for him.
yeah, because he has less points than Andrew Wiggins, but he's better than
He's clearly been like there was a stretch where he was like a top three player for
yeah.
like 4 years. He just couldn't. play over like 30 games. But it all
Yeah,
makes sense now. It really does.
yeah,
It
yeah,
just was never sitting out that injury.
yeah. I there's a lot of like I hate when fans try to call people soft for not playing games. Like, because there's like Embiid, even I'm not even an Embiid fan. Like, I'm not a fan of his game,
But
but
he's obviously hurt though, bro.
yeah,
Like his knees. Like
yeah, and he was fighting for his life last year. He had a half paralyzed face, and he had a busted
I
up
could,
knee, and he's still going
bro.
out there dropping 50.
You
The
can't
fact
live
that
like
people had to,
the average fan doesn't even know the half. Like me and you, like we both played. You played college for like a year. I played it for 5, and like I know how crazy my body feels. But then these
yeah,
dudes have been doing it their whole life, and they're now like 30.
yeah, and they
Like
dedicate
they're
every day to taking
yes,
care of their body. Sometimes he's 7'2", 300 pounds, moving like a
I'm
guard.
sure unless you go like the route that like Curry had to go and like Lonzo Ball had to go, where they're getting surgeries to replace like whole things, or like because the ligaments are just so torn, like people don't. I don't even get into that
Yeah,
because like obviously these like when these people are hurt, they're hurt because they don't want to just like this is
yeah,
and they're hurting every day, even when they're
exactly,
healthy. Like
exactly.
that's not even a question. So I don't get into that. Like they're out. You see the injuries, it's bad, but yeah. I don't know. You can't get into that. Chet Holmgren played all 82 games last year and felt like he was like, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, and that's coming off a year when he busted his foot in a pro-am game when LeBron like ran him over, and he played 82
Like
games, and he's skinny as a rail. Like
he's
that's
like 22.
yeah. But even then,
Like
like
this,
if you look at the average 22-year-old, they're like, man, I'm getting old. And
I feel like it. I'm about to be 23. I don't know how I'd
exactly,
play
like
82, 82 of them at like a
yeah,
20-minute per game clip. And not to mention like the Embiid's, like you don't just go out there and just like corner sit.
yeah,
Like they got to run the whole. Oh, they got to get
yeah,
30 and 10. Like they're
yeah,
playing there the whole game. So I don't that I usually don't entertain that injury stuff. You know when someone is doing the like the Kendrick Nunn coffee table type deal for like 3 years with a
yeah,
bone bruise. Like that's one thing, but then
yeah,
even that sometimes that's just like front office and that's out of their
right,
control too. So you
yeah,
really can't even. That's just
yeah. So who did you have winning MVP?
First the under like if I had to put money on it, my like long shot bet would have been Ja.
Oh yeah, you did say Ja. That's true. I
It
forgot.
would have
Yeah,
been Ja,
Ja, and
but
then like, did has that changed or
like I don't. I mean, I'd probably still go Ja, but I think this is like another year where Jokic could win it if their record was good enough because he's just gonna have to put up such crazy numbers.
yeah,
I think Anthony Davis will be in the running too because I think
yeah, I do
he's gonna
too.
keep that up. But
Yeah,
I'll stick with Ja for now. I think he's gonna get it going. I can see the Grizzlies being like a top 3 seed just because they're so
yeah,
young and they'll be able to play good ball in the regular season. Edie looks pretty good too.
yeah,
He looks solid.
yeah. I think that could be a good pick and roll duo. And Edie also helps because Jaren Jackson doesn't know how to rebound to save his life. So Jaren Jackson gets
Jared
less
Jackson.
rebounds than Ja, which makes no sense. But
It's just some of these dudes just want to be forwards. Like they hate even thinking about they want to abolish the center position
yeah,
in basketball.
one
It's
thing I
crazy.
didn't like was when he won Defensive Player of the Year over AD because he just goes block hunting. Like he forgets that there's a backside and they could just get the rebound after he
Nah,
just puts up the worst block attempt of all time. But
AD's been robbed of a couple of defensive player of the years.
yeah, don't even get me
I
started on
think he's been
Gobert.
the real best defender probably like 3 of the last 5 years, maybe all 5 if you really think about it. But I
Yeah,
digress.
Gobert is just robbing people. Just oh my gosh. But
Who you got MVP though?
I got Shea. I've been saying this since last year, like the end of last year. Um, he's he's just so consistent, and they're gonna get enough wins. So I think he'll just have the numbers, and he'll have the amount of team success. I think they're gonna be first in the West, barring injury. I mean, I had Jokic as my runner up just because he's gonna have to put up some crazy numbers. Um, I could see Tatum getting in the top three, top five.
I just don't
Depends
think
on
you could
how he
win it on
shoots.
that team.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna win it, but
His
I could
stats
see
are
him
just going to
just
be
being,
nerfed.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the team is just Drew Holiday as a fourth, fifth option. Like, what are we even doing? But
He's like the point guard though. If he could get the assists up, I feel like
yeah,
he's worked on it.
their whole team is just so like they just delegate so well that everybody gets three, four assists. It's not even like somebody's getting 12 assists and just commanding the whole office. They just swing, 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 three. Peyton Pritchard half court shot. So like that's that's just what they do.
Greatest half court shooter of all time.
I know people were talking about them and they were saying that the league can't go this way. Like we have to make some changes. I don't know what changes do you make. They're like the league
But like
can't. It's
the
becoming unwatchable with the Celtics hitting this many threes. They said that after the
I mean,
first
I
game.
feel like they're just the next team. They're like the first team that actually cracked the code outside of having Steph Curry.
Yeah,
Like the Warriors were the three spammers, but they had two of the like three greatest shooters of all time in their prime of shooting. So of
yeah,
course, between the two of them, they're gonna hit like a combined 12 threes a night. This team, everyone could just hit like two or three, and it's like 12 people. So they're
yeah.
gonna shoot like however many, like what are they shooting right now? Probably like
50.
30 to 40 a night. Like they're just gonna
Shoot, they
chuck
might
them.
be putting up more than that. I don't even know.
Yeah, they probably touches like some of the 60s. I'll probably I'll look that up,
The
but
first game, I
yeah,
think they shot 60. They had like
you just got a
61.
bunch of dudes. Like they're just gonna get them up every time, and it's just
Yeah,
they finally have a team that can actually kind of do it consistently.
yeah.
You know, not every NBA team can do that, and so I mean that's their advantage.
So, what do you think is the next trend in the NBA? Because
I
you
mean,
had
I feel
people
like we're
going up to
kind
the
of
3 point line. You have positionless basketball, and then you have the three
I don't
point.
know. We're like one of the last evolutions of this. I feel like. I mean, you got the
Yeah,
Wemby's and Chets, the dudes that are mad tall dribbling. You got the dudes shooting a bunch of threes. I think it'll just turn into like one day it'll regress somehow, and you'll
yeah,
have to play defense again. Like there'll be a team that's just locking everyone up,
yeah,
and then like all of a sudden they'll be like, wait, got to put more emphasis on defense again.
yeah.
Like
I think
at
it'll
some
be
point it'll like change.
yeah. I think it'll be like the NFL because you see how these defensive coordinators are starting to make more adjustments to like the explosive plays. I think there will be some. I mean, it'll be some sort of emphasis on guarding the three. I mean, I don't know exactly what, but they're gonna somebody's gonna find something.
This is gonna be
Uh,
some variant. Someone's gonna be shooting some mid ranges. It's gonna
yeah,
be like
yeah.
we're gonna
Because
figure
what
something
goes
out.
around comes around. So I think there will be a certain point where I mean, mid range has always been important in the playoffs because you need people that can dominate the in between area. But I think there will be a point where because the people will be there will be so many demigods in the game that you literally have to have a mid range. Like there will
Thing
be
how
no other
this is
option.
Boston is just so rare. Like it also works because everyone's like a good playmaker. And
Yeah,
that's so rare. The
yeah,
ball is just it's the perfect 5 out offense. Like I don't see any team. I don't see it getting to a point where every team has that. Like I do not.
yeah. The amount of buy-in that takes from
Yeah, like
every member on the
I don't
team,
see that.
the amount of engagement. Because a lot of
Yeah.
people they're just like, I'm gonna get my money. I want to get my 15 points and go home and go to the club or do whatever. But
Someone's gonna find a way to counter that. I don't know what it would be. Maybe they'd like find a way to like play the rebounds in a different way. Like someone's gonna find the weakness in that play style,
Yeah.
and that's just gonna become the new thing. But
Yeah.
then it'll adjust right back. Someone's gonna figure out how to get mad threes up again to boost your odds because it's just, after a couple of possessions, you're up like 5 points. So they'll figure it out. But
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. If I knew the answer, I'd be an NBA coach somewhere right now, or I'd
If I
be in
knew
the
the
front
answer,
office.
I'd be a billionaire.
So
But yeah, that's why we ask these questions. And you can only get these on this podcast. So
it's
if you
one of
go
a
anywhere
kind.
else, you will not find these.
Not even Kenny Beecham.
Nope. Not Kenny Beecham, not Stephen A. Definitely not Stephen A. They are definitely.
Definitely, bro.
We need to
At
talk
least
about
Kenny
them for a
knows
little bit.
ball.
We have we have 5 minutes left. So ESPN, what are they doing? Kendrick Perkins is scamming NIL, scamming people in NIL, and he's getting contract extensions. What are we doing?
Bro,
What are we
I don't
doing?
know what's been going on with the media, but like, I don't know if it's just me, but I really only watch like podcasts now. Like, I don't turn on
Yeah,
the TV and watch national TV. Like, Jeff Teague,
yeah, literally.
Nightcap, even like you throw in like Cam and Mace. I know that's not even like sports, but like
Yeah,
whoever, like I don't know. I feel like that you want to talk about a shift. Like the next move is like people just getting their shows and just like, go on YouTube and you don't have to go to ESPN to see the same people talk about the same thing and give the same
exactly.
dumbass opinions. Like we're sick of Stephen A and Skip just doing this like idiotic stuff, like and just saying nonsense.
Yeah,
And I mean, Stephen A is not bad all the time, but like I don't know. I feel like that model of the TV show is kind of that sauce is dried out. The method's cooked. I don't know.
yeah. It's thank God it's about time because I'm tired of hearing about the
That
Lakers
hot
and
take stuff
Cowboys.
is
The Lakers and
yeah.
Cowboys for an
This
hour and a half. I'm
it's
sick of
just
it. Um, it's time
yeah.
for the new wave to come in. So like people, I used like I think the last time I fully watched First Take and like
It's been
Undisputed in the
years.
Herd, it's been about 2, 3 years since I've like actively engaged in a full episode because
I, it's been
as you
years
get
for
older,
sure.
like they're talking about the same thing every single
Every
day.
week, every week.
And then they would just slander these athletes for no reason when they don't even know the full story. And they have never
You
played,
can't.
they've never even sniffed any athletic anything. Like I'm not gonna lie. Brian Windhorst is a great reporter, but if he says something about me, oh my goodness. Oh my God.
I mean, you saw the
Oh
crash outs when they
gosh.
when they went on the show and they used to crash out on Skip.
Yeah.
Like that's when that used to be must see TV though. Like it's just
Yeah.
really not like that anymore. Like
Yeah.
it's hard to get to everything in a like when you don't like I'm sure they're not watching all of the games. Like they don't, but I don't know. It's just when they're it's just lost as much. I don't know what I didn't watch FS1 again after Shannon left. And then like I don't even know who hosts. I tuned in sometimes with JJ Redick, but he was too smart for the show. And they would
Yeah.
always like get tight that he was like actually, you know what I'm saying? So
Saying
then you
real
watch it.
knowledge.
Then you watch the show like the podcast he would do with LeBron. Like I don't know. I just feel like that's how it goes now. Like you don't want to turn on your TV and do it. You stream some on YouTube, some
Yeah.
former player who's funny, or just some super analyst that knows the game.
Yeah. I think another thing is just all the social movements that have happened and people are just more sensitive now. And like you can't say certain stuff. And if you say it in a certain way, you'll get so much backlash. So it just, I mean, it kind of waters down the product. Because back in the day, I'm not saying that this is good and bad because it was hilarious. Some of the stuff was messed up, but you could say anything.
They
That
are just
stuff
so
was so
filtered
funny.
now too. Yeah, they
Yeah,
can't really go in like they used to,
yeah,
and then it's just like they're really just like it's emptily saying the same thing
Yeah.
every day,
Yeah.
just different headlines, different person did this. It's just
Hmm.
it's tough.
Because
We're
that
we're
raw
losing that.
that raw uncutness. I mean, that's why people watch Jeff Teague and even Gilbert Arenas, even though I think he gives some of the worst takes ever that show. But like
It's
people
funny
just want to
though.
see that other. Yeah, it's hilarious. Like people want to see that other side, and ESPN, they have put people in charge. I mean, they have Pat McAfee now, but there's no really the NFL and the NBA coverage is just so much different. Like the NFL has people that actually know what they're talking about. Like they have Orlovsky and Ryan Clark, and the NBA has Kendrick Perkins. Do I need to say more?
Perk is really the guy, bro. Because like I could watch College Game Day with like Saban and them,
Yeah,
Saban and McAfee. Like that's a good watch, but I don't know. I don't know what's up with ESPN on that front though. They've just lost. They used to have a star-studded lineup. They lost it. I don't know.
yeah. But yeah, we're running out of time for this episode. We appreciate anybody that watches this. Any sponsorships that want to hit us up, please do. I
We
am
coming
desperately,
consistent this year.
yeah, I am desperately in need of funds. So could
Holler
definitely
at your
use
boys.
any any of those. So thank you. Peace.